Good day to everyone. Before we are going to start, now may I encourage everyone who is watching this video to please support this channel by clicking the subscribe button, by clicking also the notification bell so that should there be any new lesson that is being posted, you will be notified. And of course, by watching the whole video so that a package of information will be understood by you. Okay. Now, our focus today is the application of the Z-score and the normal curve in the real life situation. So that it says in here, there are 60 individuals who took psychological tests. Scores on the psychological well-being scales range from 1 to 10, with an average score of 6 and a standard deviation of 2. Now, what is the Z-score for a person who scored 4? And how many takers are with a score of 6 to 4 or 4 to 6? Another one in here is how many takers who has a score below 4, and of course show its standard normal curve. Now, before we're going to compute these things, we can immediately show the normal curve of this problem. But of course, before we're going to show the normal curve of this problem, we have to state or identify the given. Notice that our given are the following. So we have how many participants? We have 60 participants. And of course, we have an average or mean that is the same as 6 and a standard deviation of 2. And of course, our reference score, which is the same as 4. Now it says in here, how many takers with a score from 4 to 6 and takers with a score below 4. Now, to answer this one, we will first illustrate the problem in its standard normal curve. Why? Because we have a complete package of the given. So we have the mean. Notice that if I have in here the normal curve, my mean is located at the very center. So that if I were to calibrate this one, my base or my horizontal line, it says in here the standard deviation is 2, meaning to say add 2 from our 6, so this must be 8. Okay, this must be 8, and this one must be 10. Of course, this is 12, but there are no expected score for 12 because we are talking of a range of score from 1 to 10. And what about this one? This must be 4. Okay, this must be 2, and this must be 0. Okay, so that is the normal curve of the problem. Now, we have already understand that when we are going to have the property, one of the property of the normal curve is the normal curve is symmetrical, meaning to say the right side is equal to this one, so that if there are 60 participants, meaning to say 60 participants, meaning if there are 60 participants, it will follow that this side, this part, okay, this part or this left side of the curve is 30. Okay, 30 participants. Okay, 30 individual. And what about this one? Same. So this must be 30 individual. Okay, individuals. So that is the illustration. Now, so that when we are going now to compute for the Z-score, as that is the question number 1, we have to remember the working equation for the Z-score that states that for the Z, we make use of this working equation that is x minus the given mean over the standard deviation. So this is our working equation. And so that we are now ready to answer the question, what is the z-score of the person who scored 4? Okay, so meaning for that question, now that is the same as saying, we have to make use of the working equation. What is our x? Our x is 4, okay, minus our mean or average, which is 6, and of course our standard deviation, that is the same as 2. Mind you again, our z-score is the result of the difference of the score minus mean over the standard deviation. So we have in here now, we just replace, and so the result would be negative 2 over 2. Now our z is of course negative 1. So that is the z-score of those people who has the score of 4. Okay, so that is the z-score. Now the next thing now that we are going to look into is, or how many takers belongs to the score from 4 to 6. So where is that? That is the same as from this point going to this point. So meaning to say, when we are going to get that one, how many student, okay, or how many participant who scored from that is 4 to 6. Now so that with that, we have already taken this one, that is the same as negative 1, or that is the same as in our table, that is to be read as 1.00, so that we are going to make use of our table. So where is the location of 1? So the location of 1 is 1.00 is we have in here, that is 1.0 and another 0. So we have in here 0.3413. So this one is actually in our z table, the value of 1 is 0.3413. Now where is that? Meaning to say, this part from mean going to 4, that is 0.3413. Meaning, if we are going now to answer the question how many students, we have to understand that this value 0.3413 is considered to be a probability or area which is to be converted into percent. So that one is actually 0.34 multiplied by 100% is the same as what? 34.13. So meaning 13%. Okay, meaning to get now the number of takers, this one, number of takers who has a score range from 4 to 6, this 34% is to be multiplied with 60. So that is the same as saying, when we are going to multiply, so we say 60 participants multiplied by 0.3413. Okay, So the answer would be 20 point, okay, the answer would be 20.48, 20.48, meaning that is actually the participant, but we have to consider this decimal. So when we are going to have the decimal, this considers represent an individual, but of course we tend to say that there are 20 participants. In the psychological test, with a score of with scores ranging from 4 to 6. Okay, now if you consider this one to be to be 20, now remember that we do also consider the next question in here. What about if we are talking of takers, number of takers below? So that is the same as we have to understand that their location of these people are located in here below 4. So they might be the person who belong to this one. Okay, remember that this part of the graph from 4 to 6, there are 20 participants. So that if the half of this curve is 30 and there are already 20 participants who took the score from 4 to 6, 20, the remaining number of takers is what? There are 10. Okay, the 10 participants are located in here, which is below the score of 4. So in here there are, so their score might be 3, 2, 0, and or 1. Now if you say that in this problem there are 21 takers, then you have to deduct in here. You say this must be 9. Okay, this must be 9. But of course we have to decide that this must be 20, so that if this is 20, then this must be 10. So we have in here a problem. On a measure of anxiety, 80 participants show a mean score of 35 with a standard deviation of 5. Now what is the z-score corresponding to the z-score 40? How many participants who scored from 35 to 40? Now show its normal curve. Now before we're going to answer the problem or compute, now we can immediately show this one into its normal curve. Why? Because looking into the given, if you try to see the given, okay, will of course satisfy the element of the normal curve, which is the mean 35. Okay, of course we have in here the standard deviation. Our standard deviation is 5. Okay, that is the standard deviation. And of course the focus is the z-score corresponding to 40. So our score, which is the same as x, is 40. How many participants with scores ranging from 35 to 40? So that is the question. And of course, what is the z-score? Now notice that the element of the normal curve is the mean, which is located at the middle. So this is the same as 35. Now, and of course the standard deviation. So meaning when we are going to calibrate this one, the next calibration in here must be identified by the standard deviation. So this must be 40. So the next one would be 45. And the next one would be 50. So the same as in the left side, this must be 30. And another one, this must be 25. And this must be 20. And that is the normal curve of the problem. Definitely, there are how many participants? There are 80 participants. Okay? 80 participants. Okay, with that, if there are 80 participants, we expect that half of the curve is composed of what? 40. And another half is 40 because of the property of the normal curve that is symmetrical. Okay, half is, or the area of this one is 100%, and so the half of that one will be 50-50 or 50%, so that if we are going to apply with this, the half of 80 is 40, and so this must be 40 also. Now, having said that one, we can now have the computation for the z-score. So our z-score now is computed by making use of this working equation, x minus mean over the standard deviation. And so with that, our z-score now is the same as what is our x, that is the same as 40. So this must be 40 minus mean 30, 35 minus the standard deviation, that is the same as 5. And so we have this one, 5 over 5 is the same as 1. So our z-score is 1 or 1.00, meaning from 35 going to 40, that is our z-score. So this must be in our table, the corresponding probability of this one or weight of this one in our table is same. That is the same as 0.3413. So this is 0.3413. Now, where is that located? So that is located in our normal curve. So again, remember that in here we are talking from the range of 35 to 40. So we have in here from the mean going to 40. So that is our standard z-score. So our z-score is the same as 1, which is equivalent to from 35 to 40. Now, having said that one, if our z-score is 1, its corresponding probability is 0.3413. So in here, 0.3413. So meaning, if we are going to shade this one, this 0.3413 is measured from the center going to 40, or from the mean going to 40. With that, we can now compute for the number of takers. Okay, number of takers with the scores ranging from 30 to 40. So how are we going to do that one? That is the same as 80. Okay, so let's try to write it here. That is the same as 80 participants multiplied by 34%, 34.13%, or multiplied by 0.3413. Okay, so with that, that is the same as saying 80 multiplied by 0.3413. Okay, so the answer would be 27.30. So that is the same as 27.30. Or to answer this one, we say that there are 30 there 27 there are 27 who scored from 35 to 40. So there are 27 participants. Okay, participants. So that is the answer to the question. So there are 27. Okay, there are 27 participants. Okay, with a score ranging from 35 to 40. So meaning, if we are going to have it in here, if in the side is 40, from this center of the curve is 27. Okay, 27 participants. Okay, so of course, if there are 27 participants, that is from 35 to 40, you expect that this must be, okay, 13 participant. You expect that there are 13 participants who has the score greater than 40, so 13. So that if you're going to add this one, it is 40, which is the half of 80 participants. So that is the problem. Okay, I hope you understand the problem. Thank you.